Oh, it's Tuesday. It's February 15th. It is the year of 2011. This is day 9 daily number 261. And it just occurred to me that I may be saying like 2010 in half of these dailies because I'm just so used to saying it. It's February 14th, 2010. It's not 2010. It's the 2011th wrong year. That's pretty standard. Now, I think I'm going to do something that I would label as a little bit unusual in your average television internet show, which is to put on my contacts while on stream. So for any of you who do not like things going in eyes, you can definitely feel free to look away. But you know what? Today is all about mechanics. Mechanics, the art of controlling your mouse and keyboard hand in a way that lets you do what you want to do better. And the thing is that it's important to be kind of sensitive to your surrounding environments, right? I want you all to look at your mouse and keyboard right now. Look at those mouse and keyboards. And I want you to note, what distance is your mouse hand from your keyboard while you're playing? How far is it? Is it this far apart? You know, like does your keyboard end and then your mouse over here? For me, it's very, very close. In fact, if I go too far to the left, my thumb bumps against my keyboard. I want you to be very, very sensitive to these sorts of things. Your keyboard, is it angled? Like, is it straight? My keyboard's actually tilted up like this, and my mouse and my keyboard hand actually is tilted. Players like Phoenix or Advocat from Russia have their keyboard tilted this way, so they actually have to bend their wrist back like this. I want you to be aware of all these sorts of things, because you'll start to realize that mechanics are a lot more than just your mouse and keyboard. They're a lot more than just the hotkeys that you use, or the fact that you're clicking fast, right? It is almost everything to do with your setup, and for me, I play overwhelmingly better with my contacts in than I do with my glasses in. Even though I can see adequately with both, and even though my contracts, they make me very emotional. As you can see, these are things to be aware of. I play better with shoes. I play better when my chair, God, I can't believe I lost that word. My chair is higher. I play better when I'm sitting up straight. I play better when my back is arched. I play better leaning back from the computer. I do not play very well if there's any angle. Like my chair, if it's loose, I don't play very well, right? There's a lot of things to know. What temperature in the room do you play best at? Do you play best after you've had certain liquids, such as caffeine, right? For me, I play better with coffee. A food that makes me play well, bananas. Move my mouse cursor off. That's right. Play better with bananas, you guys. The monkey random, day 9, loves his bananas. Like, these are all things that seem silly, but if you can be aware enough to just get into your comfort zone, then you can carry your comfort zone with you. One of the hardest things for me when I was going to tournaments is that I would sit somewhere and I wouldn't be comfortable with the height of the chair. Or the surface, the table would be a little, like it would have like a tablecloth on it, and it would kind of slide, and I wouldn't like that. And I didn't quite know what my mouse settings were. These are all little things that I want you to be kind of aware of, because today is the last of the 3 mechanics series that we're doing. On Day 9 Daily number 252, we looked at the first-person view of me playing, right, of how I was holding my mouse, certain techniques to do. Of course, we're going to be referencing that. And then for Day 9 Daily number 257, I guess it would be, which was last Tuesday's, we watched replays largely from first-person point of view of your lovely submissions and talked about that. This week, we're doing first-person videos of you. We even have another, I guess I'd call it some familiar names that I know some of you have heard before. We're going to take a chance to look at them and to see exactly what's going on. And we're going to be talking a lot about the usual things, like the usual culprits, such as your mouse hand, your keyboard setup, your F keys, or using those, your mouse, how are you moving that around. But I also just want to occasionally allude to the idea, you know, maybe he needs to sit up a little straighter. Maybe that keyboard angle's not good. Maybe you play better with your legs crossed like this than when you have them straight. Ain't that a weird question? For me, I need my feet planted flat on the ground with my legs straight. That's when I play best, and I know that. Just start learning little things about yourself, because you can go to that tournament and you can just set yourself up exactly how you want. Of course, we have exciting super duper announcements today from the Kingston HyperX Pro for a Day Week 5 polls. I would just like to say that you can go to the Kingston HyperX Pro for a Day, and if you submit an awesome enough thing, or in this case, if you vote for the awesomest thing, that person, aka you, could win a chance to hang out with me and In Control at the Penny Arcade Expo. Oh, yes, yes indeed. Get a chance to high five with me and Jeff. We're cool. I swear, we're super duper cool. Just a couple samples from this week. It was motivational lolcat style posters. Determination. It just takes a little hard work and a lot of ammunition. Solid. Nice. All right, we got some other Gosu ones today. Hello everyone, this is Husky here. Gotta give Mike a shout out. There you go, Husky, Husky. And of course, Ultraless. They're so misunderstood, they only want hugs. I'm gonna close my Gmail so you don't send me mail. Oh, you just want hug. You just a little guy. Oh, little Ultraless. So, great, perfect, good. I want you to go to facebook.com/HyperXCommunity. You get to see all the other awesomeness. And of course, if you navigate to the wall here, see here's where everything, you can do all the voting and the submissions. I would just like to state for the record that the winner was Mr. Kim for Week 4. Albert Kim won Week 4's competition, wins himself brand new HyperX Genesis memory packs, all sorts of good jazz-aroo. Perfect, 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 perfect. Close, close, close. We have some Starcraft that must be discussed. Let's go ahead and full screen this bad boy. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and come back to me. Perfect. Let's look at this very, very first submission that's loaded up here. I'm going to be taking a look. Let's see if we can get some sound here. Good.
Not enough minerals.
That's right. I need to have the sound enabled. Ha, ha, ha.
Not enough.
So let's immediately begin noting a couple of things.
Not enough.
These are the places I want to be looking on the screen. Right here. Right here is one place. Right here. The mini-map right here, if I'm a player. And of course, the food up here. Here are the three most important locations. In order, this is number 1. This is number 1, the number 1 most important location on the screen. Up here, this food, that's number 2. That's the number 2 most important part on the screen. And this is number 3. This is number 3, third most important part on the screen. Number 4 is this main area. You know, the area where you see your SCVs in your command center building? That's the 4th most important. Doesn't that make you feel good? Don't tell the main screen that, as that will cause it to be offended. And I think this is quite funny because I had a friend in early middle school come up to me and say, "Hey, Sean, I made a list of my favorite people in the world, and you're 6th." I was like, "Fuck you, you're 18th on my list. What does that mean?" He's like, "No, dude, this is the whole world we're considering here. What are you talking? 6th is really good." Well, how is that not a mean thing to say? Ugh, damn you, Felicity. So let's go ahead and come back to this game. Again, 4th most important part of the screen. That's what we're going to think of as a player. Number 1, right? Number 2, number 3. Since we're observers, I want you to be following this mouse cursor quite a bit, right? We want to be following the mouse cursor. It looks like he's just sort of clicking around at random locations on the screen. That's fine by me, the fact that he appears to be getting used to this. We're already seeing a little bit of the hotkey setupage going on, having this hotkey as 1. Now let's actually speed things up to when a little bit more stuff is happening. Now I want us as players, we're going to take a player role here. We want to look at the mini-map, right? We see there's an SCV going there. Glance to the mini-map. We see that there are 2 Marines going there. Keep glancing at the mini-map. I want you just to sort of stare at the mini-map with me. Okay, main screen, now back to mini-map. Back to mini-map, back to mini-map. And main screen and back to mini-map. Alright, are you starting to see how this can potentially be helpful? Uh-oh, are we building Marines? Well, if I'm looking at my mini-map, I can see it right there. That is always a very, very strong indicator of stuff that you need to do. Now, would you label this as a good move or a bad move? Just based on everything that you have seen. Let's actually go back a little bit. Alright, here, good. Now, I want you to look at the main screen. The question I have for you right now, is let's gather all the data we can and ask, was it necessarily a good decision to throw down that command center? Mechanically. Is it right or wrong? Is it right or wrong? What is good and what is bad about it? Oh, I had one thing queued up. Well, looks like he's going to end up canceling it. Okay, and this is actually going to be an extremely subtle answer. Initially, I would have said that was not very good, right? That was not very good. It was not very good. It was not very good. Why? Because we have 2 barracks making Marines. We haven't looked at them in a while. That means they're idle. They're sitting there doing nothing. And if we look up in the top corner, if we look up here, 24 of 27, the instant we make another SCV and 2 Marines, we're supply blocked. And even if we make a supply depot, we're supply blocked, right? We can't catch up in time. However, this is what That was my initial reaction, but I want you to notice the very subtle thing. Notice the very subtle thing. I hit the completely wrong button and skipped ahead in VLC. So let's come right back to here. I want you to look at this bottom bar. I want you to look at this bottom bar area. Sure, we have our SCV coming up. And now we're going to get ready to build that command center. We're getting ready. We're getting ready. We're getting ready. Here it comes. Here it comes. Now, I want you to watch right here. Watch this bottom bar. He's saying, am I going to build a command center or not? Am I going to build a command center or not? Am I going to build a command center or not? Let me check up on my Marines. Let me check up on my Marines. Watch down here. Watch down here. There, he hit 5. And then he selected an SCV and moved it on over. That is good. That is great. Why is that such a big deal that I'm making about that? Because a lot of people get tunnel vision, right? They get tunnel vision. They say, I want command center, and I will get command center. And you say, oh my gosh, all right, you may get command center. But don't forget that you got to keep making SCVs, you got to keep making supply depots, you got to keep making Marines. It is fine to say, I am deciding not to make Marines right now. I am aware that I should generally be making Marines nonstop. I am aware that I should generally be making SCVs nonstop, but I'm electing not to. So the fact that our Terran hero did not just build the command center blindly. He tapped 5, looked at the bottom. He tapped 5 and looked at his barracks production and then said, yep, I'm going to go ahead and build that command center. That's great. And of course, the shift key back. That's perfect. And there's a supply depot going down and then the barracks coming back in. That's great ordering. That is great ordering. And notice the tapping that's going to happen in between here. Checking up on those Marines, but let's make sure he taps. Yep, we see a little tapping going on. Oh, and look, you see he tapped the SCV. He tapped the command center.
Not enough minerals.
Things are getting a little bit behind, but you know what? Let's skip ahead to somewhere much, much later in the game where there's a lot going on. Okay, so let us once again review the most important parts of the screen. Right here, the minimap. Right here, the food count. And right here to see if we're actually doing something with what we have selected. Look at the minimap. What do you feel when you look at that minimap? I feel like I don't know that much. I see some goop. That's what I know. I know that there is goop. Yeah, see some goop right there. Here goes the command or the lift going on. And let's take a break and look up at this money situation. Let's look up at this money situation. Oh, Brienne Centennial looks like getting involved. Let me try to block. No, it cannot happen. It cannot be. What we're starting to see up here is our money's getting kind of high. You see that money getting kind of high? This is a part where it's important to just begin building stuff as fast as possible. And by that, I mean like structures. We see some queuing going on over here, and this can kind of concern us a little bit. And we're also noticing that this overall play is relatively slow, right? It's not particularly fast. Not particularly fast. But I want you to, again, keep an eye right here. Let's keep an eye on this general region of the screen. Whoopsie daisy. Looks like this is something that can generally happen when we're moving out. Let's look down here. Did we do any tapping? Did we check to see if anything was going right or wrong? Uh-oh, looks like we have our Marines there, but then look down here. We're just controlling the Marines. We're just controlling the Marines. We haven't selected the barracks once. We haven't selected our orbital command once. And uh-oh, let's pull back. Let's pull back. Stimming, trying to retreat. And there, that's finally the first selection of anything. These are the sorts of things that don't seem like that big of a deal, right? They don't really seem like that big of a deal. As we saw here, our Terran hero had stuff making at this point in time. He kind of had stuff making. But you still need to be responsible about checking and making sure. Again, it's kind of like similar to that orbital command example I used earlier, where it's like, I want command center, and it's like, all right, that's fine. And sometimes people can just do the wrong thing. They can do it in the wrong way, and it winds up being right. It winds up being correct. You don't want that to happen. You want to make sure you know exactly why you're doing what you're doing and what's good about it. So, for instance, right here is something that has to do with economy management. You see how this double upgrade kind of finished, and now we're just barely getting it done. But look, we just finished the starport, and we cannot do anything with it. In terms of economy management, we're in a little bit of an awkward spot. Look, there's the reactor going down. Okay, now all these structures, they can't really make anything that requires gas because we're dead broke on gas. This would indicate to me that double engineering bay was perhaps a little bit too early. This double engineering bay was perhaps a little bit too early, because we just cannot seem to afford it. Now let's see how our Terran buddy ends up dealing with this attack. There's the stim. He ends up running away. Now, we learned earlier that the F hotkeys can control screens, that you can have an idea of the screen space instead of a control group. So in other words, if I have some Marines and I say control 1, every time I hit 1 it reselects those Marines. If I'm looking at an area and I hit shift F2, every time I hit F2 it goes back to that location. That's actually not the default, the shift F2, that's my setup, that's the way it is in StarCraft 1. But you can customize it. But again, it locks a screen. So what would we do here? Well, we have this area as F2, and then at our expansion command center over here, we have that be as F3. So we see these Mutalisks, we go F2, box everything, and then we hit F3, and then we click on the minerals, so we can run away very, very easily. Notice that our Terran buddy, Tracky, he's going to be trying to run, but it's only to the side a little bit. He cannot run very far away without scrolling his screen, which we know is blasphemy. And as we can see, that money is still a little high. We've been staring up here at this money, right, because we want to be responsible and check out our money. Now, this command center, a lot of people would say something like, is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? Something like that. You know what? It's spent the money, so that's good. We're also seeing that the energy on this command center is quite high. There are some turrets getting thrown down. Good, good, good. But in general, we just need to be checking this quite a bit more. And there comes a good amount of mules. And this is kind of the situation you don't want to be in, where your mule count just suddenly got really, really high. Again, we're at about 12 minutes into the game. This game maybe lasts a couple more minutes. Let's just stare down here for a little bit. Selecting units, moving units around. Let's see. Okay. Notice how right when I paused it, see how none of these are building anything? 0 of them are building anything. You want to have a little bit more awareness.
Our SCVs are under attack.
And there is the attack going on. Okay, we look over at it. I'm also a little curious. This is actually probably going to be one of the more important points. Okay, so right here. On our minimap, Mutalisks are attacking us. On our minimap, we see that there are mutas there. Watch the interaction of this portion with what we're going to see on the main screen. I'm going to pause it a lot. Alright, so there's the attacking. First, we go look at it. And then, wait a minute, and then we go back to our little troop. And it looks like the decision then was to move out to attack. And what happened there is about 1 second of time was lost. And that sounds like not a lot, right? That sounds like, well, it's just 1 second, what the hell? But a lot of people have little hiccups like this, where they will not think of how to respond in a situation in advance. So let's do an example. Let's talk about strategy. I'm a Zerg player, and I'm playing against Terran, and he makes a whole bunch of Marines. How am I going to respond? Well, in my head, after all the experience that I have built up over time, I now realize that I want to make a lot of Banelings against those Marines. Easy peasy, Febreze, no problem whatsoever. Good. That seems reasonable. That is something that you decided beforehand. The problem is with mechanics is that there's a lot of things mechanics-wise that people don't decide beforehand. So, for instance, anytime that there is an attack marker at the back of our base, why not send our units there first and then check to see what's going on? Why not do something like 1, click to the back of the base? Oh, it's just an overlord. Okay, 1, you can sort of move back to the front. Why is this important? Because think about a pack of Mutalisks sitting over an SCV line. How long does it take for them to kill 6-7 SCVs? About a second, right? About 1 second. So if you can just cut that 1 second of, should I go back and save those? Is that enough Mutalisks that my turrets are going to be able to defend it? If you just auto-send the guys back first, you will save yourself 6 or 7 SCVs a significant percentage of the time. There's a lot of wandering around and thinking that sort of ends up happening with mechanics. So for instance, because the minimap is the most important part of the screen, we should be looking at it. What's going on at the minimap? Okay, wow, looks like you had pretty good timing there with that minimap. Oh, looks like our sound has come back. Hello, our friendly Mutalisks. Trying to do a little damage. Oh, look, doing some macro right here. That's really good while we're controlling against the Mutalisk. Really, really good. Looks like, we have a little bit of lack of micro there. But things end up coming back. And again, I want to point out something. You heard me say, right in this battle, you're going to hear me compliment the fact that he macros. So here, he's pulling back. Here, he's going to attack the Mutalisk. And then here comes the macro. Here it comes. There, bam, selecting all that stuff. Here is where minimap watching becomes important. Anytime you're not looking at the very clearly scary part of the screen, minimap-wise, we have a concern. I'm going to show you, we're going to see the Terran move up here to the natural expansion, and then we're going to see all the Zerglings and Banelings begin rolling over here to the left, and Terran's going to pop down a little bit later. So, let's wait for it. So here comes Terran, he's going to come back here. Look at the minimap. I don't know how clearly you can see it, but there's actually a purple trail of units there. But Terran's looking up here. He's beginning to select things, and now is when he goes back to see it. Now he's able to begin running, but he doesn't have enough time. He lost about half a second. With Banelings, half a second is a significant amount of time. And this makes it sound a little more scary. This makes it sound a little more intimidating than it really is. Because, for instance, if I just tell you, go back to your main with all your units the instant you see some mutas there, and then decide if you should pull it back to the front, or then decide if you really needed them, anyone can do that. I'm telling you the net result is that it will save you a second, which is a big deal. I'm not saying that, you need to think about everything in terms of seconds and half seconds, but with mechanics, really it's kind of important. So, another one that I wanted to look at was, this is a Bronze League player who kindly submitted his first-person VOD. We're going to be looking at it, and I want to just note a couple of things that happen very early on when someone is playing, is new to StarCraft, especially new to the StarCraft mechanics. There's not a lot of clicking going on here. I would prefer to see some clicking. Just sort of like click here, click there, maybe make some boxes. Looks like he's re-rallying. That's good. We're actually not going to skip around in this game. We're going to watch it straight up for quite some time and just talk about the mechanics. There's the very first mistake that we end up seeing. This is a very common thing to end up seeing. How much money does it take to make a supply depot? 100. We should send it a little early. We just hit 100, and that's when most people go, oh yeah, look, he selects and then he makes a depot. That SCV should be sitting on the exact plot of land where he's going to be building. And then he should begin building. Let's see if the same thing happens with the barracks. Let's see if the same thing's happening with the barracks. I'm happy to see that. Oh, I'm happy to see absolutely nothing. It's so gray and blocky. Come back, video keyframes. Oh my god, I need you so much. We'll never know. Alright, cool. Yeah, look at that. 150. Waited for 150 to send this SCV out. Oh no, alack. That's going to end up delaying that just a little bit. So then there's going to be another SCV coming out. Good. And then waiting until he has 75 and then telling a guy to go build the geyser. Want to be doing that a little bit faster. So we just saw an SCV scout get sent out, but it wasn't hotkeyed. That's a little bit dangerous. We're seeing these other hotkeys get used up, 4, 5, and 6. Seeing it get set to the ramp, good. But there's nothing hotkeying that little scouter worker. Now, my eyes are very worried about him. My eyes are paying attention to him. So now it looks like, okay, hotkeyed is 1. Took him long enough. And again, notice that he tapped the barracks to try to make sure that the timing on that orbital command and that marine was good. But guys not in the gas right now. I don't know if I would necessarily label this as like a mechanic. Because honestly, it's kind of like a habit you have to get into with timing. But I would personally group it under there. The fact that you really do need to be aware of when your things are finishing. So let's go ahead and find a way to solve this problem. I'm all about problem solving, so you know what, let's come back here. Let's come back to right around the time that the supply depot was finishing up. Or, excuse me, the Vespene geyser was finishing up. Let's find out a time by turning up the volume. Are we hearing that? Yeah! Let's listen carefully. Let's see, here's the... We can see that right around when we're at 15 food. We just hit 15 food. That's when our geyser ends up finishing. That is a pretty useful thing to know. Because a lot of people just sort of do stuff that they know is good. In fact, I'm sure that there's some diamond, platinum level players who never sat down and learned, hey, as Terran, right around the time you hit 15 supply, that's when your refinery finishes and it's time to put guys in gas. Most people are just so spam happy that they're like, all right, I'll just remember when you put guys in gas. If I built a barracks, I'll remember when the barracks is done. Train yourself to have little techniques. There's all sorts of things that you can do like this mechanically. One is to, like a barracks takes about 60 seconds. Whenever you build a barracks, look right here, find out when the time that you started it was, wait a minute, and then constantly be looking for that time. Starcraft is a lot about waiting and just chilling and hanging out and waiting for the good things to roll around and arrive. So I think we are going to go ahead and speed it up just a little bit because there's a variety of things I want to get to. So we see that more mules going down. Very good. Nothing wrong with mules. We want to be checking a lot. There are, in my eyes, let's see here, about 5 things that I want to be constantly trying to touch or look at. This is 1, the mini-map. Always want to look at that. 1. And you know what? I know you're on 1 base. I know you're on 1 base and that there's not that much to look at. Look at the freaking mini-map, damn it. Look at it. Look at it. Just looking here. Looking at the mini-map. Okay, so there's 1. 2 is up here. 3 is your command center. 4 is the barracks. 5 is the factory. There are the add-ons going down. Okay, look. Doing the tap. Oops, forgot an SCV. And look at him waiting for that Hellion to finish. Bam! Just now building another Hellion. Well, apparently got delayed a little bit, but, his heart was in the right place. So the other thing that I'm a little worried about, this is going to be very, very, very tiny. This thing it's actually hardly visible on the screen. What is the one problem with this hotkey setup? None of those units at the front of the base are hotkeyed. 0 of those units. We see Control 1 is still a scouting SCV. 4, 5, and 6 are this orbital command, are these barracks, is this factory. And that is a classic mistake that people just do all the way up to gold, all the way up to diamond. Like, everyone seems to do this, just to kind of not hotkey things that very obviously will benefit from being hotkeyed. A lot of people don't really use I'm skipping ahead because that's blocky. A lot of people don't even really use the 2 and 3 hotkeys. They don't really use this little intermediary range whatsoever. Why not? Just use it. You can totally have some SCVs hotkeyed in there. You can absolutely have a control group hotkeyed in there. Of your units. Even doing something like, if you have a scout worker that's somewhere here, just hotkey him. This worker back here building supply depots, hotkey him. Use that keyboard. So that was a pretty fast response time by our bronze player. But again, this is the most classic syndrome in the universe. Alright, let's go ahead and watch that. Per usual, the instant the attack begins, the complete and total focus goes away. As we've seen throughout this entire game, the entire game, almost the entire experience of StarCraft 2 has been this screen for this player. If I skip anywhere in the past and hit play, look, hey, it's that same screen. Alright, I'm skipping here. Look, we're looking in the same spot. Alright, I'm skipping back again. Looks like we're basically in the same spot. Skipping ahead. Yep, same spot. Skipping ahead again. Yep, same spot. Skipping ahead again. Yeah, you know what? We're still... Wow, our screen almost always has the command center in it? That's sort of interesting. I would not want to phrase this as, you look at your command center too much. What I want to instead say is that this player looks at what he's doing. He's looking at the same place where the actual action is happening. And that's, as a matter of fact, bad. Because here we see... Oh, battle at the front. Is there anything to micro? Not really. My troops are going to kill your troops. But notice down here, we're going to see complete and total forgetfulness. He's looking at what he's doing. Look, he boxes his units. There's no clicking going on. There's a click, another box, a click. Oh, and now that everything's done, now we're going to the barracks, now we're going to the factory. And we're even noticing that our money's quite high again. Let's see if we can continue to identify the syndrome of only keeping your screen keeping your screen at what you're actively doing. So, for instance, we can use the hotkeys to build out of these barracks, so we don't need to be looking at them when we're building out of them. We can use our hotkey to build out of our factory. Yeah, look at that. Using the hotkey, but staring at the factory and the barracks. No, no. Have your screen somewhere else. You don't need to be looking at them when you're building them. You totally don't need to be doing that. You can put your main screen over a useful location while you do this. What if you're Zerg and you have a scout overlord? You can easily sit right on that overlord looking at him and just go 5SD, 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 while looking at the overlord, 5SD, 5SD, 5SD. And this happens all the time. I think a lot of people are comfortable with this whole concept of whenever there's a battle, I should macro. Whenever there's a battle, I should not be focusing on the battle. I should be focusing on macro. I think a lot of people know this because the effects are something you feel right up there. You see that money get really high after battles, and you go, yeesh, I don't want to do that no more. However, in this circumstance, the opposite is what the problem is. The opposite is what people don't talk about enough, which is that they're staring at a screen of what they're doing. Staring right where they're building. Look down here. Look at this little area. We're staring at the screen. There is nothing useful going on. Oh, there we're at the front again. Just sort of sending stuff around. And then we're going to end up, okay, we're not doing any tapping here. We're not doing any tapping. There we go. Now we're building stuff without looking at it. That's perfect. That's really good. That's ideal. Exactly the sort of things that you should be doing. And notice that there's nothing really noteworthy that's been coming up at this point in time. It's essentially been where our screen is versus where our eyes are versus where we're clicking. And there's the transfer. Wait a minute. It seems like our command center finished and there were not any SCVs there to transfer to it. Was any tapping happening earlier? Were we checking on this? Well, it looks like, yep, tapping, but we have no idea what the progress is. Oh, it's done. Oh, I guess I better box and sort of send things away. And the interesting thing to me is that this player is a Bronze League player. This player is a Bronze League player. Why do I emphasize that so much? Because this player is using hotkeys pretty well, is gathering his army together, has a, pretty reasonable and good composition, is moving out at a fairly good time. I mean, a lot of these moves are just absolutely fine. But there's a little bit too much lag in between the actions. And I don't mean in between the clicks or the keyboard presses. I mean between the notable events that happen in the game. I start a factory. It's building, it's building, it's building. Factory finishes. And then the factory builds a Hellion. Yeah! All right, great, good, okay? Or, expansion command center finishes. And then send the SCVs. Everyone knows you got to send SCVs. Everyone knows that. That's good. But we need to focus a little bit more on this sort of when stuff is ending, and we can use our little screen here. Now notice that as this battle encroaches, there's going to be less clicking here, because that is the pattern we've identified. There's no clicking on 5 or 6, no clicking on 5 or 6, no clicking on the barracks or the factories, none. And there he's moving up. There's the stim. Still no macro or micro or anything of that sort. We're seeing a little push up the ramp. The video's getting a little bit blocky, so that's fine. As the attack wraps up, go back and build stuff. This one wasn't building. Oh no, this one wasn't building. And here comes the big classic drama moment for a player of this level, is the, oh my gosh, my money's too high. Let's see how high this money actually gets. What should we build here? Anything. Anything at all. Barracks. That would work great. And there's the stim. We're seeing, oh, now we're building now at the tail end of the battle. Kind of want to be building at the start end of the battle. That seems good. That seems good. And need to pull that back a little bit. That's actually kind of subtle, that little thing that happened there. That seems reasonable. It's kind of dead. Game looks over. Go tank. This is what I call the rally effect syndrome, which is where in a battle you're just like, rally all the troops, go troops, go into the battle. They'll have a giant army, you'll have almost nothing, and you'll just send your next 6 Marines to pop out in to die. Another 6 Marines pop out, you send those in to die. Your next batch of 6 Marines pop out, you send those in to die. Wait until you have 18 Marines, right? Let those first 6 pop out and pull them back, and the next 6 pop out and pull them back, and then the final 6 pop out. Regroup, and then move out. 18 is not the magic number. The waiting and constantly trying to regroup very, very hard, that's the magical technique. That's the thing that you want to do. That's the really important thing. So I'm going to go ahead and close this, and I'm going to advance on to something a little interesting, which is... yeah, here we go. This wonderful submission by Starcraft, which I had to scroll down. Oh yeah, it's right there. Let's go ahead and full screen this bad boy. And hopefully that is in the window. Let's compare it to me. Yeah, that should be pretty good. That should look just fantastic. Good, good, good. So, we're going to see the probes get spread out. There's the first little selection. There's the good luck, have fun. We have a keyboard view in the bottom corner. Ain't that cool? We got ourselves a keyboard view. Yeah, yeah, all right. Now, I love that hand placement. I love that hand placement because I see a little bit of table, so that means that there's a little bit of a place for the hand to rest. There's a pivot for it. Notice that the hand is it's kind of set inward on the keyboard to where the index finger is on the 5 key right here, where the index finger is. That's good. A lot of people have their index finger over here by the 1 key, and that's not so good. Good stuff, good stuff. Moving right along, fantastic. Advancing forward in time. So, we're seeing, well, it looks like there is no assimilator to be taken yet. Okay, so we're moving our probe in there. Anytime we're moving our probe somewhere, we want to be tapping. We want to be checking for. All right, there he is. And you'll notice that this is a very common thing to happen. Again, all these things are going to seem very subtle, but if you can clean all these out, you literally will begin... You will just skyrocket your win percentage. It will be so much higher if you just start cleaning out these little things one at a time. So let me explain what happens in the brain. You get here and you go, oh, he's tearing. Oh my gosh. Oh, look, there he is. I know exactly what he's doing. Even if you have played like 10,000 games of StarCraft 2, you're still going to go, oh, okay, there he is. All right, all right, all right. Cool, cool, cool. There he is, there he is. Oh, SCV, I can kill him, I can kill him, I can kill him, I can kill him. But I'm a good player. I'm going to look down here, look down here. I'm a good player. I'm going to go to my Nexus, build a probe, and then I'm going to come back to microing, right? I'm going to come back to microing. But I want you to note the following. Right here. Bam. Starcraft selected the Nexus, and this probe does not need another probe queued behind him. And yet there's the probe that gets queued up behind him. This is a very common mistake that people do that creates this illusion that you're playing smoothly and that you're not forgetting things, when in a sense you are over-remembering, right? Let's say every, what's something that takes 30 seconds to build? The only thing I can think of is contaminate, so whatever. Marines! Let's pretend Marines take 30 seconds to build because it makes the math easy, right? If you're a good player, you go build Marine. Dum-da-dum-da-dum-da-dum. And right when you're getting to 25 seconds, you check! Build more Marines. Okay, good. Wait like another 25 to 30 seconds, and then build another Marine. And about at those intervals, you kind of check, okay, build a Marine. Okay, let's check. Okay, let's build a Marine. The problem comes when a player every 20 seconds remembers to build this thing that takes 30 seconds, right? It'll be like, all right, building. It'll be done in 30 seconds. 15 minutes later, or 15 seconds later, I go, oh yeah, I better remember to macro. 5 AA 5 build 2 Marines. All right, cool. All right, cool. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Better remember to make Marines. 5 AA good. Better remember to make Marines. 5 AA, and you're doing it too much. And over time, what happens is you end up with one guy in the queue, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. Your money's low the whole time, but you never quite got enough stuff out because everything was sitting in the queue. Now, one thing that I'm more than happy to take a suggestion on in the chat, definitely you can post this to me afterwards. If you have, let's say you have 4 Marines queued up, or let's actually take this example. Let's say we have 1 probe queued up. That's 50 minerals that's doing nothing. I want a word for that kind of money. I call that idle money. That's your money that's tied up but not doing anything. Right now, I have a really kick-ass overlay. Thank you, Bernard, for that. Let's go to the actual thing I want to go to. I would say Starcraft has 50 minerals that are idle. because they're in the queue, right? He's committed 50 minerals to having this guy in the queue. And what happened? What happened here? Again, the syndrome of, oh my gosh, gotta remember to do the thing. Scout, scout, scout. There he is. He's tearing. Harass, harass, harass. Better not forget to make any of those probes. Quickly, 4E, 4E. And you're going to see him just go 4E and then immediately bounce back here and leave that guy not queued up. Okay, and now, yeah, look, 4E again, 4E. In this time of intensity with all the stuff going on, oh man, just continuing to queue stuff up. I do like the hand placement that we're seeing from our Protoss player. Kind of fun to end up seeing that. And as a result, we can see that that second pylon is a little bit delayed. Here's the scout going on right now. And I always ask the following question. What were you scouting for? What were you scouting for? Did you see also that scroll? Notice the way he's sending this guy to move. This is fine what he's about to do. See him selecting this, and here, look at the mouse cursor. Go to the minimap. There it goes to the Zelnaga Watchtower, and then it's going to go to the middle. And then this happens where he scrolls, build, right? That's still not something that you ever really want to be doing. This gas geyser's a little bit late. Want to be trying to accelerate that a little bit. Oh, and look at that. Look at this. Here is another classic case of over-remembering. Over-remembering. Look down here. All right, 4E. Okay, good. 50 minerals idle. We have 50 minerals that are in idle money. And then look again. 4E. Just hits 4E. It was literally like 3 seconds in between when we built probe number 2 in our idle queue and probe number 3 in our idle queue. It's kind of funny because it's very easy for people to vilify forgetting completely. It's very it's very easy for someone to be like, you at the start of the battle you had 200 minerals, now that's done, you have 1,500 minerals. Better make that not a problem. You know, you even feel that, you know, in the game when you get done with the battle and you're like, oh god, I messed up that micro. Oh crap. And then you look at your money and you're like, oh, and I screwed up my macro too. This problem, the over-remembering, is a much, much bigger problem. A much bigger problem that plagues some of the absolute greatest players out there ever. It's very, very important that you know that a lot of the absolute greatest players that could exist get stuck up in idle money. There was another 4E. Let's actually just stare here a little while longer. There's 4E. And you'll note that it was never spamming. It was never spamming. It was never spamming. It was just sort of 4E. Wait. 4E. Wait. Yeah, and then look, now we're queuing it up. And he's ending up canceling one. And here's another classic little mistake that we see here. Oops, I guess I didn't rewind enough. Okay, so at this point, Starcraft goes, oh no, I have too many probes. And then he's going to queue it around. And then we're going to see the mouse cursor. Okay, you see that? He's going down here and he's clicking to cancel the probe. He's clicking on the portrait. You just need to hit escape. You just need to hit escape to cancel a probe. You just need to hit escape to cancel a probe. And a lot of people do this with a lot of different hotkeys. You know, for instance, some people don't know what the warp gate hotkey is. So what do? Well, they'll move their like follow my white mouse cursor right now. They'll follow down here. They'll follow down here, and then they'll click on the warp gate button, and the curse that happens in your mind is that you say to yourself, I'm only building warp gate once this game, so it's one click, it's fine. Oh, I'm only upgrading centrifugal hooks once, so just click on this. You need to know it's G and C for those hotkeys. You need to know that. And if you don't, what you do is you move your mouse over it, you stare, and then you say, okay, it's G. You move your mouse back to the main screen, and then you hit G. Why is that important? Why is that important, do you think? Why is that important? Let's suppose for a moment that it requires the exact amount of time to move my mouse cursor down and click as it does to just hit like the G button. Let's say that requires the exact amount of time. Let's say it requires the exact amount of time. I'm more than happy to see what people say in the chat. People still typing GG. Yeah, why is it better, I would argue, to hit the G key instead of doing the mouse click? In practice, it's faster to go click G than it is to go click, move my mouse down, click. But let's suppose for a minute. Let's see. What are some of the things that people say? People are saying it takes more effort and removes your mouse from use for that time. Great, KZN. You know what? That's actually true, and that never occurred to me. Technically, it does take more effort, and it pulls your mouse away from where it could be doing more important things. But let's even throw that out of the window. Let's throw that out of the window. Let's see here. Fibonacci 09 says muscle memory. Mouse is free. Ashkaji, mouse is free to do its next motion. Very good, very good. There's one thing that I'm looking for. That I'm making a huge deal about it. Muscle memory is coming up. Kinesthetic learning, yes. Blah, blah, blah. Wow, it's actually not coming up. The most important thing of all of mechanics is the eyes. Where your eyes are looking. Follow my mouse with me. All right, there we go. Follow my mouse. Let's go to this point where there's a lot of stuff queued up. So I'm at this point in the game. I'm Zuff, so I go click on you, okay, and then I want to move you to mine. Click. Oops. Oop. Scrolling it back down. Very good. I want to click, send you here, click, send you here. Oh, okay. Now I need to move down here, and I click here. My eyes have to do a union motion with my mouse cursor. In other words, my mouse that's down here to click to cancel this probe. Damn it, stop scrolling, screen. My mouse hand that has to move down here to kill this probe. I have to be looking here. Which means I cannot, in particular, be looking here. I cannot be, in particular, looking here. I, in particular, cannot be looking here. Everyone knows things like look at minimap a lot. But not enough people will say, what are good times to look at my minimap? You know what's a great time to look at your minimap? Every time you use a keyboard shortcut to construct something. Every time you use a keyboard shortcut to construct something, glance at the minimap. It'll actually make your eyes kind of tired if you here, let me move my eyes close. It'll actually make your eyes tired if you do that a lot. Like, let me check my money. Minerals, money, minimap, money. Your eyes will actually get tired. So I actually do this a lot. If you watch a lot of the Korean pros and Brood War, you'll see them sort of, have this very sort of active head motion. It's a little bit easier to do that. So every time I need to upgrade something, I'm just like 5G. Move my eyes down there. The more you use your keyboard, the more it frees up your eyes, because your keyboard hand is completely done by muscle memory. A lot of people were saying that, but it frees up your eyes. I want you to free up your frickin' eyes, buddies. Free up them eyes. Yeah. Let's go ahead and move this forward a little bit. Here's another optical illusion that happens. At this point in time, let's actually wait until this little buddy was popping out. Okay. I would love it if you built something. Let's actually pull back to around now, when the optical illusion is a little more explicit. As I pause, notice how low that money is. 127 and 44. I actually hope you can actually see the money. Yeah, you should be able to see it in this framing. 127 and 44. That money looks low. However, we know we have some probes queued. This core was a little late. This gateway was a little late. We have some probes idling by the gas. And what's going to happen is these mistakes are going to be repaired over time. Like, let's see. Zuff Starcraft seems to have not noticed the probes. That actually doesn't bug me that much. Okay, there, he noticed the probes. Okay. And then, even again, right around here, right around this moment, 200 minerals and about 50 gas. Hey, when this stalker builds, if I build another stalker, I'll have 75 minerals and no gas. I'm on fire, baby. Anytime your money is starting to get above, 100, 150 in the early game, you should be aware of it. Because the biggest curse that can happen to you when you're trying to learn about economy management is to convince yourself that everything is going good. To convince yourself everything's great, right? You go look at this part and you're like, yeah, okay, my money's good. And you've had a little hiccups. Whoops, I kind of forgot to put guys in my gas geyser. That's fine. My money's low now. I guess I'll try to not do that next game. And the big issue, the big danger, the big thing I worry about when I dream of you at night, dear Zuff Starcraft, is, hey, is there a clear methodology to keep that money low? Here comes the stalker. Let's look at our bottom area. I would imagine that we're going to see a 4E in a moment here. Yep, there was the 4. Did he actually build something when he went to 4E? I couldn't tell. His lightning fast hands. All right, I'm going to try to do my pause play. Coming back. There's the 4. No, it looks like he didn't build anything, right? Look, he hit 4, and then he went on with his day. Perfect. That's wonderful.
Hit 4 and went on with his day. Hip, hip, hip. Hooray, hooray. Very good. Very awesome. Very cool. Queuing up another probe again, though. 4E. Recall that we have 2 idle probes. There's 100 idle minerals there right now. We could have started another gateway unit. We could have built a whole another gateway by having fewer idle units in the queue. Fewer idle units in the queue. Now, I'm looking at our mini-map, and I'm realizing we don't really have a spotter at the front. I'm looking at our mini-map, and I'm just aware that, okay, well, maybe could be some presence of his in the center. It looks like we have the stalkers waiting to go down. Uh-oh, click the stalker portrait, and there it is going down right now. There's the observer happening as well. There's the chrono boost, but again, here's a little bit of a curse. Here's a little bit of a curse that can happen. We have our hotkey set up down here. Here is selecting the Robo Bay, hitting, it looks like it's going to eventually be hotkeyed to 6. And no, there it gets hotkeyed as 5. Okay, that's fine. But every time you have all these hotkeys up, you kind of have to use them regularly to justify. Now, those cannons that are going down right now, I can tell you are actually absolutely unnecessary. No need to build those cannons. It's fine. But again, we don't really care so much about the strategy. You can build as many cannons as you damn well please. If your mechanics are good enough, you're going to roll over almost everybody. Roll over almost everybody who you're playing against. And there again, the little bit of a queue up problem. Notice the scrolling of the screen. You see that scrolling? This moment right here is one of the worst moments in the universe. Okay, so let's count the time in terms of YouTube seconds. And keep in mind, Blizzard seconds are about 2/3 as long as real person seconds. Blizzard seconds are very short, but we're going to do it in terms of real term seconds and real world seconds. Let's go ahead and do this computation. So let's pull back a little bit. Let's follow the amount of seconds it takes for this probe to build the pylon and back again. Grabbing the probe, we're at 5 minutes and 7 seconds. Scrolling, building, scrolling, and then sending him back. That took about 6 seconds. I want you to just, close your eyes with me. Close your eyes with me. I want you to visualize. Something. I want to emphasize how long 6 seconds is. So oh my god. Oh, there's Mutals in the back of my base, and I'm going to look at my probe line, and I'm looking at my probes. They're getting killed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, let's get him out of there. Let's help him. Let's save him. 6 seconds is a long time. What it's really important to train yourself to be able to do is to send the probe, is to grab a probe, click where you want it to, B, E, F2, shift, click back to minerals, right? Again, that's grab the probe, B, E, build a pylon. I don't know why it's E, don't ask me. These are Blizzard pylons. B, E, build a pylon. F2 to return the screen back to your nexus and your minerals, and then shift return that guy back to mine. This is something that is quite small. Now, I just want to add up some numbers. Let's say that every time you build a structure, there's about 4 to 7 seconds, right? 4 to 7 seconds where you're not really doing too much. We'll just call it 5 seconds because it makes the math easier for me. And then let's say there's a couple of times where you're moving guys across the screen and you're not really looking back at home. And every time you need a macro, an extra 5 seconds are spent where there's not really anything queued. I want you to think of how many things you build, how many times you decide to build a couple structures in a game. Very quickly, we see if this happens 6, 7, 8 times in a game, which is not unreasonable at all. You build more than 6 pylons in this game. You have an army moving around more than 6 times in this game, but let's just say it's 6, 7, 8 times. Multiplied by 5, we're already at 30 seconds. We're already at, half the time it takes to build like a chrono-boosted Colossus. Hell, if you had a long game, if you had like a 20-minute game, these little mistakes would add up to you having a Colossus or not. These add up really, really quickly. And in a very exaggerated example, I think I did this with a friend where I was playing with very, very solid mechanics, and I had low money and 33 food right as I hit the 5-minute mark. I had 33 food. And when he was playing, everything looked about like it looks for Zuff Starcraft. A few things, maybe getting a little out of order, maybe forgetting to put some guys back in. But he had 33 food at 6 minutes and 27 seconds. Or 6 minutes and 30-something seconds. It was 90 seconds of delay, and that is always a shocker. You heard me just say that in game time, right when I was at 5 minutes, I had 33 food. Right when I was at game time, when I was at 5 minutes, I had 33 food. We see 30 here for the Protoss player. We see 30 at the 5-minute marks. There's 31. Sliding along, still at 31, 32, 33. Right? Oh my gosh, 5 minutes and 44 seconds. A 45-second delay. A 45-second delay. These things add up really quickly, and this is the huge mystery. This is why I've been trying to emphasize, here's a little second there, there's a couple seconds there, there's a couple seconds there, there's a couple seconds there, because they add up to these astoundingly large numbers fast. And then it always feels like, but I do the strategy that the pro does. I do it, and I attack at the same time he does. You both attack when you have 5 tanks, but he gets his 5 tanks a full 2 minutes before you do, and that is what the problem is. I want to watch one last series of games. Let's go ahead and unfull screen and do Taishu, who, of course, was kind enough to submit one for last Newbie Tuesday that we got a chance to take a look at. That split didn't look as beautiful as it could have, but that's fine. That's okay. You want to do it a little bit at a time. All right, there's the 4 E. And one thing that I'm going to try to draw your attention to in this last final one is that when we take our mouse, follow my mouse cursor, and we give it an action to do, I want you to look at how long this mouse cursor is still. This is the last little secret, how long this mouse cursor is still. Let me give an example. Let's say I have a probe that's idle here and a probe that's idle here. Well, a lot of times you'll see me go, select this probe, move. Select this probe, move. And at the end of that sequence, there's a little bit of chilling. See, look at that. Clicking and kind of chilling. Clicking, chilling. Clicking, chilling. Moving the mouse. You're going to see this a lot. Right when a structure gets built, when this first pylon gets built, I want to see. A good player would go build pylon click, right? They would build pylon click back to minerals or click on minimap. What we're probably going to see is build pylon click, hang for half a second. Let's watch this. Build pylon, hang, and hang. You see that hang? Did you see that hang? Did you see that hang on the mouse? Watch the hang, and there's the click, and the hang, and it's chilling. Theoretically, there's not anything to do right then, right? We're at 10 food. But let's watch the hang, right? Let's watch the hang. Let's see if we can find out that mouse hang a little bit longer. All right, cool. All right, the hang, ladies and gentlemen. The hang. Here comes a chrono boost, no doubt coming up. There's the chrono boost going up. The hang. He's hanging, all right? Oh, he's manner. He's manner. All right, he's going to send it to build. Oh, see the hang coming up twice? All right, and then he's going to build. And there, look, the mouse chills. Do you see that for just like a little bit? There's the build and the chill. What the hell? This always happens. Building. Okay, here comes the chill. Building. Chilling. Now you go back. Click, chill. Okay, now we're moving back. All right, cool. You'll be blown away how often you do the hang. You'll be blown away. Everyone does the hang. You don't want to do the hang. The hang is not your friend. Let's watch all these little tiny moments beginning to add up. Kind of chilling right now. Nothing big, nothing bad, nothing scary going down. There's the box and the send. And see, notice that little tiny hang. The little tiny hang as we send the third guy in. These two are pretty good, and look, bounces back and clicks and chills for a little bit, and chills for a little bit, and chills for a little bit. It's kind of crazy how easy this is. And of course, everyone is going on the hang. Everyone do the hang. That's right, everyone. Don't do the hang. That hurts me. So this sort of mouse precision is something that comes up a lot. A big habit I want to get you into. This is very easy. Let's go ahead and use the mouse cursor on my screen. Let me give it a little kiss. Come here. There you go. Yeah. So let's say I wanted to select my nose, so I wanted to click on my nose here, and I wanted to send it to my Winnie the Pooh photo over here. And after that, let's say that I wanted to select this eyeball, this one that is open right now. I want to select this eyeball, and I want to put it on Jim Raynor's head, right? Let's say that's the one I wanted to do that. Or I guess that's Tychus Finley. Whatever, I want to put it on this guy's face. A lot of times people go, all right, box move, box move. What I want to get you in the habit of, there will always be periods of hang in your play. There will always be periods where you're like, okay, I did 15 motions and I kind of had to stop and reorient myself. But I want to get you out of the habit of one at a time, like doing something like, all right, click, go. Click, go. I want you to do one continuous motion of click, bam, click, bam. That's what I want you to do. The continuous motion of click, bam, click, bam. You're going to start noticing that your mouse, as you're starting to get good at not hanging, your mouse feels like it's always active. Feels like it's always active, always doing a lot of stuff. My mouse cursor almost never feels like it's still for a very long period of time. And this is one of the fundamentals of expert mouse control, is that rapid fire sequence of action. Notice he's spamming the G. Spamming the G, and our eyes have time to look here. Generally, whenever you're doing some sort of hang, that's fine. As long as you're sort of staring at the minimap. Yep, notice that. Notice our pretty standard classic move, which is to have the guy at the Zelnaga Watchtower, and then to go, oh shit, I wasn't actually watching the Zelnaga Watchtower. Oh my god. Oh my god, I forgot. You know what? I think that's going to be enough for today, because we've been going for 1 hour and 1 minute. And once again, go to facebook.com/HyperXCommunity to check stuff out. No Fun Day Monday, no Newbie Tuesday next week or the week after, because I'm going to be out of the country. And then if you were going, oh, what do I do? Oh, there's nothing fun coming up. Don't forget about the Jinro versus Idra show match, best of 7 coming up. I'm going to be so excited for that one. Definitely support your favorite Jinro or your favorite Idra. Without any further ado, I'm going to go, because I have some thesis notes to prepare for my meetings tomorrow. Because I graduate in 4 months, assuming I don't fail out. And I'm sleepy as well. Day 9, he's going to lie down. He's going to be done. Thanks so much for tuning in. You guys are beautiful.